Hello guys, and welcome to episode 22 of my World Tanks Replays. Apology in advance for the fact that this is a Tuesday and not like a Saturday or Sunday. I had a bit of a busy weekend, so yeah. Busy weekend, didn't really have time yesterday. Let me quickly flop over the stupid settings and stupidness that the replay system now does. I don't care about the player's name. Like, I honestly don't. Okay. So, today we got here this little beauty, the Valentine 2. I bought this during the week it was half off on the North American server. I believe it was the Sputnik weekend? I don't know what it was, but it was half off, and I figured, okay, I have a little gold sitting around, I'm going to pick it up. And I think I found a loophole in the system. I would say this tank is definitely what you would call a loophole. Now, as you see, I've got 15 premium rounds stacked down there, because this thing has a abysmally bad gun at 51 penetration, 47 damage. But you'll find that if you resist the temptation and instead just fire armor piercing and avoid targets you can't penetrate with armor piercing, this thing is the loophole to the system. Very much so. So, we'll see what I'm talking about in a second. As you see, tier 4 game, you will always get a tier 4 game in the Valentine 2. No matter what you do, kind of like the Panzer B2. So that's very nice and comforting, considering we have 51 penetration. And we've got some pretty solid armor. I think that's there's two things about this tank that make it just stand out. One is that its armor is solid, really good armor. And two is that it is literally impossible to circle a Valentine 2. It has an extremely high track traverse and an extremely high turret traverse. So even though the acceleration on the Valentine is pretty bad, it does turn very, very, very well. It is actually quite a little maneuverable little vehicle, despite its poor engine. See if we can put a pot shot to that M5 or M3. Excuse me. Ah, he's dead. So just heading up here to the bushes here on mines. Not much has happened so far. Just gonna sit up here, see if I can find any targets. One of the most important things here is just knowing that going down the middle of the map doesn't work, because you're most likely gonna find Matildas. And the one problem with this thing is facing. There's four problems with the thing: facing Matildas, not two Valentines that are not Valentine 2s, standard British Valentines, and facing the new DW2 British heavy and the B1, because it is very difficult for you to find anywhere where you can penetrate those tanks. Taking out that Hetzer there, as you see, the Hetzer has nice armor, but its side armor is crap, so taking advantage of that. Racking up our first kill on the Hetzer here, and I think at this point I've concluded that no one's on this side, so I'm just going to sneak up behind, see what I can do. Matilda in there, I don't really want to get involved in that. So coming up here, see if I can grab myself some artillery, and maybe route out some tanks sitting at the cap, or sitting out overlooking their cap. M7 Priest there. Gets taken out by the Panzer 3A, but I put some shots into him. T-28 is probably your favorite thing to see in the Valentine 2, because you will always penetrate a T-28. It has almost no armor. And as I say that, I put a shot into his track that does no damage, but that was probably track damage to be fair, so put some shots in that T-28, but our team can deal with him. We've got some tanks in position to take him out. Let's just keep plowing through here. So I don't remember this game particularly well, so we're just going to roll with it. And usually the stuff I put in my good replay folder is a good replay, so we'll see how that holds up. So coming along here to see if we can go hunt some more artillery. M37 Lorraine 39. Oh, there's an AFK Panzer 3A. No sympathy. No sympathy, sir. But you're not going to shoot at me, so I probably should shoot at that Lorraine. And as you see, the accuracy on the move is very good because it's just slow. That's kind of a British thing. Auto aim because, honestly, you can use auto aim in a situation like that. I'm going to use this Panzer 3A as quasi-cover from that M3 Lee. And one of the problems with M3 Lees is that you can't very easily penetrate their frontal armor, as you'll see here. You have to aim at weak spots, and you have to penetrate those weak spots half the time. So I'm just counting on the fact that with that M3 Lee taking that big hit from artillery, that I can get 2 penetrating hits before he can kill me. And that brings up the other problem with facing M3 Lees is that their gun does have enough penetration to punch through. So, yeah, things like the T-28 M3 Lee Tier 4 tank destroyers will punch through if you do not angle properly. As you see, M3 Lee was going for the turret. Most people actually don't think of the turret on this thing. If you angle well and people don't shoot at your turret, your side armor you can side scrape very well on this thing. So I'm just gonna pin up here and see what comes. Tilted in the distance there. Just gonna sit in the cap. Sitting on 4 kills at this point, I guess. Hardly ever noticed. So I'm gonna try to see if I can go route out that M37. Why not? It's pretty much guaranteed that we're gonna win at this point, so we'll just try it. So, coming up here, the M37. I swear I have more good games in this. I just guess I didn't save them. Whatever, I don't know. And ha! I can see you and you can't see me. How do you feel about that? Oh, damn it. I think that's the second time I was kill stolen by artillery in this game. Not really kill stolen. There's no kill stealing in this game, folks, but sometimes it's a little annoying. I will admit that. But let's see. Is that rear armor? Oh, nope, that does not appear to be rear armor. You just cannot go through that. There's no weak spot on that frontal armor of the Matilda that you can go through. As you see, I think I only fired 2 premium rounds at the M3 Lee, and you're going to see how that plays a pretty big influence on this thing. So, that was the game, 4 kills. Let's see how I did and what exactly happened. Welcome to the After Action Report, where we see that this was not a half bad game. 24,823 base credits and 971 base experience without any multipliers or premium or whatever. So it looks like a pretty good game to me. I think it played pretty well. I mean, 971 isn't disrespectable. I mean, this game is not necessarily like, oh yeah, I had this fantastic game in the Valentine 2. This is kind of just showing you a little something. But we'll get onto that in a second. So, got my mastery badge in this game, so that's pretty nice. I do appreciate getting mastery badges, and I have mastery badges in a lot of the tanks I've played. I have a lot of mastery badges. So, let's go over to the damage, where we see clearly that we did 119 damage to that M3 Lee, got 3 hits through the weak spot in his armor, did 48 damage to that T-28 as he passed by, 44 to the side of that Hetzer to finish him off, 37 damage to that M37, who subsequently was killed by our artillery, 120 damage to that Lorraine while we were concentrating on avoiding the M3 Lee, and 89 to that M7 Priest, who also, I think, was killed by our artillery. And then 240 damage to the Panzer 3A, who was just sitting there AFK. No mercy, though. No mercy. So, let's go to module damage. Injured the driver of the M3 Lee, knocked out the track of the Matilda, knocked out the track of the T-28. You know, I really don't like this as knocked out, because you didn't really knock it out, you just damaged it, but whatever. Knocked out and destroyed the... This needs to change its wording. Damaged the engine of the Hetzer and destroyed the track of the Hetzer. damaged the track of the Lorraine 39 LAM and damaged the track of the Panzer 3A. Bunch of spotting damage here and there. 191 M3, 20 to the T28, 112 to the Hetzer, 86 to the M37, and 51 to the M7 Priest. So that's kind of nice. Also, it looks like I got 6 detects there, so pretty good game all around. Did quite a bit in that game. It may have not seemed eventful and may not have seemed like the greatest game, but once again, my point is not necessarily the greatness of this game. Team score, we see that we were top of the team, 971 experience, much above the person below me, because I believe this thing does have a little bit of an experience boost, but we did do the second most damage with a gun that has 51 penetration, so I am more than happy with this game. So now, here's where the important things come. In the detailed report, 37 shots fired, 21 direct hits, 23 penetrations. For that gun, that's pretty damn good. And you should not use premium rounds to correct that. So, yeah. 1 second. So, 754 damage through those 23 penetrations. 6 hits received, 3 pens, 3 bounces. Well, we were facing an M3 Lee that gave us 3 hits. Mostly we were taking fire from an M3 Lee. That game didn't very well demonstrate the armor. I have games which much better demonstrate the armor, but like I said, I don't think I threw them into my good replay folder. 6 enemies spotted, 8 damage, 4 destroyed, 460 spotting damage. All good stuff. Now, the important stuff is over at the credits area, where we see that our gross credits was 24,823, and our profit was a whopping 22,151. Just to give you an idea, I believe that is a higher credit income it's higher than the credit income average of most premium tanks in this game, including the tier 8s. If you were to look that up, I'm sure I'm probably wrong, but I believe that most sit around 20 on their average net income. I could be completely wrong, please correct me, but I know that is definitely above tier 6 and 7 premium tank standards. I believe those sit around anywhere from 10,000 to 15,000. So this is good. This is a loophole, because I believe that with this tank, they assume that you will purchase gold rounds in order to function. But if you say, screw it, I can play this thing with 51 penetration, then the running costs, as you see, are just absurdly low. I paid 1,382 credits to repair my vehicle from almost a fully dead state, and 1,290 credits, which is probably mostly the cost of 2 gold rounds. If I hadn't fired 2 gold rounds, that would probably be like at 200 on the ammo cost. And you will find that this game is not just a unique case. If you do not fire gold rounds in this vehicle, you will very consistently hit around 20,000 net credits. So, this thing is well worth the value. But again, there's a catch. Of course, there's a catch. There has to be a catch, and that is that you can't simply go buy this thing and say, okay, this is going to be my credit earner. Now, I don't mean to toot my own horn here, but this is a situation I am very used to, having been a Super Pershing owner. I'm very much used to having sub-average penetration. That's kind of my thing. I can definitely tolerate tanks that have subpar penetration. And this thing does. You need to know what you're doing in order to operate this vehicle. You need to have a fair amount of experience, knowledge of weak spots at the tier, and general very good situational awareness. Once again, I'm not trying to say, oh, I'm a great player or whatever, but I do believe one of the areas I'm very good at is managing low penetration values. So I would say that if you think you are up to the challenge, if you think you are very good and you know your weak spots and you're very experienced in this area, go for it. If you're a little doubtful, I'd research into it a little more, try to think about it, play it on the test server, which probably won't work because you'll never get a game, but do whatever. Just look into it. I'm not saying don't try it, but know what you're buying before you buy it. Because if you just default to firing gold rounds in this thing, then it's not a very good tank in its tier. It by no means is a very good tank in its tier. And it also isn't a great crew trainer because it only has 3 slots. So, just all in all, this is a little side fun credit earner if you know what you're doing. Now, if you have any experience, if you want to just play this thing for fun and load it up with gold and you don't care anything about the running costs or whatever, just do it. I mean, it's a fun vehicle. I'm not gonna lie, it's a fun vehicle, but you will probably still struggle because the gold pen isn't even that good. So, that's just a little insight into this vehicle. A special little blurb, if you blurb on the radar, if you play it right, it generates a lot of money. I'm going to be honest, I was having more success generating money with this than my FCM 50T over the weekend. That could have just been the tier 8 teams, but the FCM is a little bit below average tier 8 credit maker, and this thing was doing better. So, yeah, this is the Valentine 2. I hope you guys took something out of this replay and just general view on this tank, and I will see you guys next time.